reaction. All right, here we go, y'all. Let's get into this reaction. Sit back, have a good day. We got about a 30-minute reaction right here, 20-minute, give or take. Pop this tangerine open and let's have some fun. Enjoy.
Bro, if your dog does that, immediately leave your house because you are in trouble.
Oh shit.
Check this shit out.
Let me see.
You didn't know that, huh?
No, what's that?
Look, so the dog in this video appears evidently terrified. Such behavior is not uncommon in dogs and cats, because they possess the capability to perceive entities invisible to humans, referred to as skinwalkers, you know? These beings can render themselves invisible or visible to animals. And yo, in extreme cases, they might even possess your pet. This dog seems extremely disturbed by what it sees. And the worst part is that its owner can't even help because she sees nothing. To comfort it, she asked her dog to come back to the couch as she saw it shaking like a leaf, and she didn't want anything serious to happen to it. But before continuing, I wanted to warn you guys that more and more people have reported that their phones were being spied on by a blue radio app. This can appear on your phone at any time. To check that this does not happen, click on this icon, then on more. If you see it, delete it immediately. This is really, really weird, but...
Look at it, it's like, I was looking at the back of some...
All right, now, I always heard, like, your dog, they're unconditional, right? They're unconditional lovers. You know, most dogs. So when I watch scary movies, I notice my dog locks onto him, like, or he'll lock onto me, like he knows I'm nervous, or he'll lock onto the TV. And I always heard that dogs are so unconditional that like spirits can trick your dog into letting it enter your dog, and your dog's so welcoming and so nice that it's unconditional. Like, so every time I watch a scary movie, I make sure I put my dog under the covers because he stares at that movie and I'm like, you ain't allowed to watch this. Or if something scary or creepy comes on TV while I'm watching it, like I'll get his attention, like, hey, look here, like to get him away from the TV. So something to look into when you're watching scary movies with your animals, y'all. They act different. You notice it.
of these, I did a post on this the other day. I was looking at the back of these toothpaste labels, and it literally says to call poison control if you swallow it. Fluoride toothpaste. It says, if swallowed, contact poison control.
Oh my god.
This is exactly why I switched over to an organic, all-natural toothpaste. Why would you continue brushing your teeth with poison?
They compromised people.
And it's been going on forever.
Yeah,
Forever, dude.
It's got to be going on right now still.
100%, but
it's got to be happening somewhere where you can get away with it.
well, I mean, even in the Disney film in Pinocchio, it's unbelievable. The pub scene.
What are you talking about? The new one?
No.
The old one?
Yeah, in Pinocchio.
I think there's a new Pinocchio. That's
there is. Tom Hanks is in it.
Four new ones?
Yeah, it became in the public domain, so anybody could make a Pinocchio movie now.
Oh, how creepy.
That is creepy. So when did the first Pinocchio come out?
Oh my god. It was probably like the fucking 40s.
Okay,
or something.
look up the pub scene. The pub scene in Pinocchio. And you'll remember this when you saw it as a kid. It gave you a creepy feeling in your belly.
Let's see it. Pub scene in Pinocchio.
He talks about
Yeah.
bringing the boys to Pleasure Island, and then he starts whispering what happens to the boys, and the fox freaks out. He's like, oh, but, and he goes, no, they don't come back as boys.
Jim Brewer's crazy.
Ooh.
He's funny on podcasts.
What's your proposition? Well,
Hope this don't get copyrighted.
how would you blokes like to make some real money? Well, and who do we have to, No, nothing like that. You see? I'm collecting stupid little boys. Stupid little boys? You know, the disobedient ones what play hooky from school. And I takes them to Pleasure Island. Ah, Pleasure Island. Pleasure Island? But the law, suppose they... No, there's no risk. They never come back as boys.
This ain't how Hollywood recruits. That youth is crazy. They hide the truth in plain sight.
Around and looking at her lines one last time.
She then faces the casting director again and initiates the scene. Sarah delivers the lines with emotion and emphasis, making sure not to miss any details from the script handed to her. The casting director has complimenting lines, and Sarah does not miss a beat as she seems to perform perfectly. The moment the scene ends, Sarah looks happy with her performance. Still, she senses that the casting director does not think she is worth considering. Unable to understand why, she even asks if there are any notes to consider for improving her performance. Despite her inquiries, the casting director leaves her with no response. Sarah takes her things with her to the bathroom, immediately melting down in one of the stalls. She throws an aggressive tantrum, bangs the bed with her handbag, and eventually rips through the script in her hand, shouting profanities one last time.
So this girl is undercoverly crazy. Every time she fails, she punishes herself by pulling her hair out or messing herself up some way.
Sarah sits on the toilet and collects her breath. Sarah's obsessive habit of playing with her hair overcomes her again. This unhealthy obsession with pulling her hair out also reveals her desire to punish herself in self-disappointment. Seeing her hair urges her to indulge in this unhealthy habit, as she ends her fit by aggressively pulling out several strands of hair from her head. She then gets ready to leave the stall, and opens the door to find that one of the casting directors has been listening in on her tantrum for quite some time now.
Creepy.
Sarah is taken back to the audition room, where the second casting director confronts her about her tantrum in the bathroom. Sarah initially pleads ignorance, but the director pushes her to be open about her fit. When Sarah admits to pulling her hair out, the casting director finds her even more interesting, demanding to see...
There you go, right there. That's how they recruit.
She'll do
Gotta have
anything.
something fucked up with you mentally, because they know that they can fuck you up with pain or whatever, and you're gonna indulge that pain with tolerance, because they know they can fuck with you, do whatever they want with you, and then throw you to the side. That's how Hollywood does it. The more fucked up you are, the higher you go up.
Might want to stop and listen to this.
And continue on talking about the CERN collider and its real agenda. Okay, so we're on a verge of a paradigm shift. They've cracked open a portal or doorway or whatever you want to call it from another dimension. By their own admission, they are already in communication with something that has a personality and has ability to communicate. And the information that they're receiving must be very high level information, because they're feeding it to laboratories and technologies all across the planet. And what you said, which is so sobering, that video on the internet that captured it was an open satanic worship ceremony, I guess in the Goddard Tunnel.
Yes.
And I saw it and I was like, my mouth hung open because it was so in your face, Luciferian and satanic.
I would say we've probably not seen something that bold in the mainstream media.
No, we haven't.
In our lifetime.
No. And
I don't know what that was. Let me know down below if you know what that was. I'd love to get more into it.
There's been an escalation, and it keeps getting faster and more bold and more prominent. The Illuminati symbols at the Super Bowls and these giant musical performances in stadiums by music superstars and the Olympics. There are in-your-face occult messages and satanic messages and symbols, which tells you there's a very powerful Luciferian elite in this world, very active, and they're not hiding anymore.
No, they're not.
They've come out.
Because they've progressed in their timeline to the point where they feel invulnerable and no longer have to hold back. In fact, they want to be more bold about it so that they can gather themselves more converts to their way.
That would make sense.
Pull away from us.
Yeah, that would make sense, because here in the U.S. we have this rise in the satanic churches.
Exactly.
Remember when this guy filmed the Mandela Effect live?
This creeps me out, man. I don't even like to be in this room anymore. But I sleep in here. You look at that. That shit is changing. It is changing.
All right, I had to mute that and put my own music because I didn't realize that it played a bunch of copyrighted music. But that's pretty cool. Hey, I'm gonna have to try that out. put it on a short, but I got to find the phone first. So looks like I'm gonna do a little thrift shopping here in the near future, y'all. But that'd be crazy if that's legit.
I may end up running off with you myself, you know.
This is crazy. This is crazy.
It's Steven Spielberg?
Yeah. Can I say hi to Steven?
Sure, you want to say hi to Steven?
Yeah.
Sure.
Hi, Steven, I love you. Steven makes it special, E.T. makes it special.
She had a huge crush on Mr. Spielberg. It was a 6-year-old, totally enamored. I remember when Drew would talk, it would be, Steven. I mean, she would say it like that. Well, Steven said.
You want to do more movies and keep the family tradition going?
Drew, welcome to Blue Peter. It's lovely to have you here. Tell me, what was it like acting with E.T.? Well, at first, I kind of got scared. But then as time went by, I got very used to it.
Why did you get scared?
Well, because sometimes when you first meet people, you kind of get scared sometimes.
If you guys didn't catch the drift of what went on with Drew Barrymore since she was born into the industry, I can't make it any clearer for you. I highly, highly recommend watching this on YouTube. It says part 1, there is no part 2. It's amazing. Go watch it. It's 2.5 hours, but it's worth it if you want to know what she's been through. I told you guys I would be making a video on her because she has been through exactly what Miley has been through. I definitely meant to say Britney, but maybe that was a Freudian slip, and Miley has also gone through this. I think they've all gone through this. Drew was sold to the industry so early on, but here's the thing. She comes from a lineage of Hollywood actors. Her whole family, all the men in her family have been doing this for 100 years. All of these Hollywood elites have been in it for 100 years, since the beginning, which means that Drew's family is a part of all the lies that they have told us because they're all in cahoots all together. I've told you guys that if they clone these people, they need to have some part of their name or something that represents the old person that was cloned. And every man in Drew's family is named John, but there's a Drew and there's a Barrymore, and her name is Drew Barrymore. Now there's a theory that all of these people in Hollywood are all men and that they transgendered over. I believe that everything had to manifest itself physically in the 3D realm so that we could see it with our own eyes and believe it. But what I believe was really happening is that they were building a bitch and transferring consciousness. And this is why all these people have this like male energy inside them. They're like shape-shifting or something. But I do believe that our generation, Drew Barrymore, Paris Hilton, Nikki Hilton, Britney Spears, Jamie Lynn, they're all little starseeds that came here to break the generational curses. Watch Drew's movies. It is telling us her life, just like Britney's music told us hers. It is all planned.
How do I know that Disney Cruise offers snorkeling trips to Epstein Island? Here you go. At that time in the Disney Cruise Line, it stated, be whisked away aboard the captain's rear powerboat to pair of the sun-soaked snorkeling site and prepare for an adventure like no other. Journey in picture cute Turtle Cove, Buck Island. Immerse yourself in the underwater wonderland, where you're invited to swim and snorkel among a school of sea turtles approximately 1 hour. Afterwards, make your way to the second snorkeling stop, Little St. James Island, where curious fish dart back and forth in the clear blue water in colorful coral formation, nestling next to an amazing underwater formation. Afterwards, enjoy beverage and a snack before making your way back to St. Thomas Harbor. And we all know that Little St. James Island is Epstein's Island. Remember to like, comment, and share for more videos.
That's
like
crazy
this.
if it is.
Thank you.
It's comfortable up here.
For the start of the game, the producers would take the mothers off the set, bring them backstage, and make sure they can't see or hear what's going on. That way they can't hear their child's answers and cheat to win the game. This was the perfect trap for Fergie and Catherine to take advantage of the children.
Hugs and kisses.
Hugs and kisses. I should have known a sweet-looking gal like you would pick that one.
Once the mothers were off stage, the hosts would get very close to the kids. Most of the time, Fergie would have his hand on the backs of these children, or in places we can't be sure of. The children most of the time are visibly uncomfortable.
They don't look nervous because what's there to be nervous about, right?
And I get it, it's TV, there's an audience, their mothers aren't around. But if you look through most game shows involving children, the producers want the kids to be as comfortable as possible to get the best results.
Where would Aaron say you'd wear a cummerbund?
On my waist.
on your waist.
That way they aren't just staring into space and being quiet. Plus the mothers didn't look at ease either.
This is a conspiracy theory. I'm going to admit that straight up. But at this point, I am convinced that the Democratic Party does not want to win the 2024 presidential election. Not because they're losers, but because in some cases, losing is actually winning. Okay, so at this point, they've already canceled primary elections in 4 states: Tennessee, North Carolina, Massachusetts, and Florida. So not only are they deliberately disenfranchising their voters, but their anointed candidate, Joe Biden, has the lowest approval rating of pretty much any candidate in modern history. It's hard to make a case that this is a winning formula. Now the question is, why wouldn't they want to win? How does that make any sense? Well, the most important thing that we have to understand is that the Democratic Party is not a public service organization. It is, first and foremost, a private corporation. And the job of any corporation, as we know, is to make money. But it's hard for them to make money when they govern because, and this is the huge conundrum for the Democratic Party always, is that part of their party platform, in theory, is supposed to be anti-corporate. Now, don't get me wrong, the Republican Party also only cares about money, but they can do so more honestly because that is their party ethos. Cut taxes, deregulate, become a billionaire. That's the American dream. And if you can't achieve it, it's got nothing to do with systemic injustice. It's 100% your fault. Now back to the money part. It just so happens that Trump is a fundraising machine for the Democrats. Nobody ever talks about this, but just look at how much money the Democrats raised in 2020 versus 2016, nearly triple, and look at Republicans, pretty much the same. And of course, who is about to be president if Joe loses? Hence, Joe Biden for president. Take it or leave it, we don't care. Say losing, in the case of the Democratic Party, can actually mean winning.
Make a lot more money.
It's time to wake up.
One day, I believe, the planet will awaken and start thinking this way.
I think they're starting. And once this is out of the bag and once people start to really see it as reality, this world is going to change very fast.
Why do you...
You're right.
How fucking terrifying that would be?
That's terrifying.
You know he knows about it.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you walk right in and bam, there's that painting.
And now you kind of control a president.
Holy shit, dude.
Holy shit. It's
well, that's
crazy.
100% what they were doing. 100% what they were doing.
Dude, I just don't even want to think about I don't want to think about all the, like, entities we'll never even know about that ride presidents around like a fucking horse.
When that alarm clock goes off at 4 or 5 in the morning, your mind says no. You just say, it's just what we do. It's what we do now. Because to get to where you want to go, the amount of pain involved, the amount of mental pain, of how many times you're going to have to do something that you don't want to do to get to where you want to go. There's going to be more times you do something that you don't want to do than you are going to want to do it. That's your new norm. And then once you do this over and over and over again, it becomes like breathing. I don't want to live this lifestyle, but to get to the other side of this, I have to.
All right, family, there you have it. I hope you enjoyed the reaction. It's Thursday. We're back again on Friday for another video, and then probably Saturday or Sunday. But anyways, y'all, hope you guys enjoyed the reaction. If you made it this far, be sure to hit that thumbs up. And if you're new here, hit that subscribe, y'all. We do about 4 uploads a week. We're going to be going live here pretty damn soon. I'm working on it. And that's it, y'all. This is Segovia. I'm signing out of the Man Cave. I'm going to see you guys tomorrow for a beautiful Friday. Might even have a little non-alcohol brew to sip on with you guys. I'll see you guys later.